Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Baddies West, Season 3, Episode 8. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. So much went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. Now, at the very beginning of this episode, Razer and Stunner Girl ended up getting into a fight on a private jet. Yes, I said a private jet, to where there had to be an emergency landing. All of this happened because Natalie thought it was a good idea to split the ladies up into two separate groups to travel to Arizona so that there wouldn't be any drama. Half of the ladies went with Tommie on the bus to Arizona, and the other half of the ladies went with her on the private jet to Arizona. Everything seemed to be going well up until the drink started flowing. Now, Razer was definitely drunk because, her face started to change and she started slurring her words a bit, and her tone is very aggressive when she drinks. And so she started talking to Stunner Girl. She started telling Stunner Girl that she needed to make up with Biggie and Tommie and drop the beef and stop fighting. And I don't necessarily think that what Razer was saying was wrong, but I don't think that she should have done it when she was drunk. And I also don't think that she should have been the person to try to talk to Stunner Girl about it. I don't really feel like it's her place. And so she was being very aggressive to Stunner Girl about the whole situation. And Stunner Girl really didn't want to hear anything that Razer had to say because she feels like Razer doesn't have room to talk because of the fight that she got into with Scotty a few episodes ago, where she made this huge scene and she was acting up the entire episode. And so she really doesn't feel like Razer has a leg to stand on in this situation. Razer and Stunner Girl are in each other's faces, and Razer is yelling in Stunner Girl's face, trying to make her understand what she's saying, but that's not the right approach, especially for somebody like Stunner Girl who's quick to swing on somebody. I don't feel like Razer should have been in her face. Do I feel like Stunner Girl should have snatched up Razer the way that she did and ripped her wig off on the private jet? No, because I think there's a time and a place for fighting, and I don't really feel like that was the time nor the place. But at the end of the day, I feel like Razer was definitely wrong in that situation, because had she not have been yelling in Stunner Girl's face when she was drunk, then maybe that wouldn't have happened. But now it's starting to look like Stunner Girl is the problem. I don't really feel like Stunner Girl is the problem because I don't feel like she started any of the beefs that she has with anybody. But I do feel like she needs to learn how to do something other than fight, because she's not really going to get anywhere doing things like that. But I also feel like because of all the ladies fighting with Stunner Girl, they're really making her the star of this season, because honestly, everybody's talking about her every single episode. The whole show is basically about her. Krishan is nowhere to be found, so the show is not about Krishan this season. It's all about Stunner Girl. Now, after the fight, Stunner Girl gets put into a car to ride to Arizona separately from everybody else, and Scotty, Razer, Natalie, and Lo end up riding on a bus together to get the rest of the way to Arizona. And Razer is on this bus yelling and screaming. She's yelling in Natalie's face, she's yelling in Lo's face, and then she sits there and she starts coming at Scotty again. She tells Scotty that she doesn't want her sitting next to her, that she doesn't like her, to get up and move and switch seats with somebody else. And Scotty is confused by this because Razer was literally just on the private jet telling Stunner Girl that she was able to make up with Scotty because she thought the drama between the two of them was dumb, and she feels like, Stunner Girl should be able to do the same thing with Biggie and Tommie. And so it was very hypocritical that now all of a sudden she's arguing with Scotty on this bus. It makes no sense to me, and I feel like Razer really needs to stop drinking. I'm honestly very disappointed in Razer because I thought she was going to be my favorite this season, because in the first couple of episodes she was playing it cool. She wasn't really getting into too much drama. She wasn't doing too much. She wasn't trying to be the center of attention. And now when she drinks, she does entirely too much. Now, the ladies that were on the bus with Tommie were having a really good time. There was no fighting. Everybody was laughing and enjoying themselves. And they even started opening up to each other, which I thought was really nice to see, because some of the ladies that opened up on the bus, we never really got to see a different side of them. Like Kat, on BGC Season 5, you didn't really see a softer side of Kat. She kind of had like a hard exterior. She more so talked about how she liked to date men with money and women knowing their worth. But we really never saw the softer side of her. We never really got to see her be vulnerable, and so it was nice to see that side of her. Rolly definitely opened up as well. Sky opened up, and so did Biggie, and I thought that it was really nice to watch. Now, the ladies end up arriving to the house in Arizona. Natalie's group arrives first, and then Tommie's group arrives last. And listen, this house was the nicest house that they've stayed in by far in Arizona. But the room situation was kind of messed up, not because the rooms were ugly, but because they had 3 girls sharing the smallest room in the house. This room was literally the size of a small closet with 3 bunk beds in it. They had Scotty, they had Biggie and they had Sky, who was supposed to share this room and sleep on these bunk beds. And I thought that that was really unfair. If you're not going to make sure that these rooms have beds for everybody to sleep in that's the same size, then I don't feel like you should do the show at all, because I just feel like it's not right for certain people to get special treatment. And that's what seems to happen every single season of the show. They really need to get it together, because I don't like comparing this show to Bad Girls Club all the time, but on Bad Girls Club, everybody had the same size bed and everybody had basically the same size room, except for the rooms that had 3 beds in it. And so I feel like they should be doing the same thing with this show. If they're not going to make sure that it's fair when it comes to the room situation, then they shouldn't do the show at all. Natalie and Tommie decide to have a conversation with Razer about her drinking, because they feel like every time she drinks, she becomes a completely different person. And honestly, I don't feel like anything that they were saying to her during this conversation was registering, because she was making excuses for her behavior. She basically blamed the other ladies for why she was behaving the way that she was behaving. And she said that it was not because of the alcohol. She said it was because of the ladies taking her out of her character. But I don't believe that. It's definitely the alcohol. She be doing way too much when she drinks, and she needs to not drink at all if she can't handle her alcohol, because that's not something that's a good look. Somebody like her who actually has businesses and stuff, hopefully when she watches herself on TV and she sees how she was acting, she'll change her ways, because that's not really a way to be. But for right now, it doesn't really seem like she plans on changing her ways anytime soon, because it just really didn't seem like she was taking in anything that they were saying. Although I don't really think Tommie was the right person to have this conversation. I feel like Natalie should have had this conversation with Razer by herself, because Tommie be doing the same thing that Razer be doing when she's drunk. So I don't really think that she was the right person to have that conversation with Razer. And now at the very end of this episode, things get ugly when Natalie calls all the ladies into the living room right before they have to leave to go to their hosting, and she lets them know that they only made $20,000 when they went to Las Vegas. Now the ladies were not happy about this, because there's 11 girls that have to split $20,000. So when you split that evenly down the middle, nobody really gets any money. And so nobody was happy about that. But Lo definitely said that she felt like all the ladies should get the same amount, because Rolly and Tommie were saying that they should get paid more because they actually performed when they went to the club. Now, I kind of agree with Lo after hearing the points that she made. The reason why I agree with Lo that the money that they make at the club hosting should be split down the middle evenly is because at the end of the day, they all showed up to the club hosting and did what they were supposed to do. So why should one get more than the other? Anybody that's there performing, they're performing because they just want to get their music out there, because at the end of the day, on the flyer, it does not say that they're performing. It says that they're supposed to be there hosting. So if you go there and perform, you're doing it because you want to perform, not because that's what you were supposed to go there to do. So I just don't feel like people like Rolly and, Tommie and Stunner Girl and all those people that went up there and performed should be getting more money than the other girls who showed up to the club hosting and did what they were supposed to do as well. On top of that, it just doesn't make any sense to me, because honestly, they get paid to do this show outside of the money that they make at the club hostings. Like when they do their contracts, they get paid, each of them, a certain amount to do the show. And I'm pretty sure people like Krishan, Tommie, Natalie, and even Rolly are making way more money to do this show than some of the other ladies are. So I just don't understand why they're arguing about splitting money at a club hosting that they all went to go do evenly down the middle. I just don't understand why they think it's wrong to split it evenly. Tommie was doing entirely too much in this scene, though. She was yelling about how she's a special guest to the other ladies' performances and how she gets paid more money because she's a producer and she's not talent. And it's like, girl, you're the talent. Like, you're on this show and you signed up to do the show just like everybody else. If you wanted to be a producer, then you should have stayed behind the scenes and you shouldn't be a part of the cast like everybody else is. Like, girl, sit down. In your contract, you already are making more money than some of the other girls to do the show. So why are you yelling about splitting money that you made at the club? All of you did, as you supposed to get more money. No. Like, don't do the show anymore if that's the case. If you feel like you're above everybody else, that doesn't make any sense to me. On top of that, why does Tommie think that she's better than all the other girls that are on the show? Because somebody like Lo and Kat, they did Bad Girls Club, and Tommie did what? Love and Hip Hop. I think Bad Girls Club was way more entertaining than Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop was fake anyway. And so I just don't really feel like she is above a lot of the girls that she thinks she's above. Like, I'd rather go to see somebody who was on Bad Girls Club than go to see somebody who was on Love and Hip Hop. That's just my opinion on the situation, though. That's just me. I'm not a fan of Tommie, so I'm not going to pay to go see her, honestly. So I just don't know why she was hopping out of her seat, kicking her shoes off, walking towards Lo like that. Like, she was being very aggressive, and Lo sat there very pretty, and she didn't get out of character. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies West. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.